Is Tesla fudging the numbers when it comes to their sales? Well, at least one website believes that to be the case. We know Tesla has been having a rough go recently, and in North America, it has had an 8% drop in sales compared to last year. Much of that has been due to Musk's controversial politics in the last few months as the head of Doge, the Doge department under President Donald Trump. This has also led to a massive decline in its stock price. So, was all of this leading to Tesla cooking the books out of desperation? Well, according to one media source, it is. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening as always. So today I have an article titled, Tesla's US sales are worse than what is reported. Here's more accurate data by The Electric. And it states, Tesla's electric vehicle sales in the US are worse than what the media is reporting right now. That's partly because Tesla is hiding its sales. Now, this is interesting because I always thought Tesla, since it's a publicly traded company, has to be transparent about its sales numbers. But according to this article, that's not entirely the case. The article then shows a report from Cox Automotive showing Tesla sales at a little over 128,000, which is an 8% decline year to year. However, this is for the most part an estimate, not an actual figure released by Tesla. The article states, the main problem with this report is that it's a complete estimate when it comes to Tesla, the biggest EV manufacturer in the United States. Of all the major automakers, Tesla is the only one that doesn't break down sales by region or even model. Now, is this a deliberate part on their end, or is this just normal because they are a direct-to-consumer brand? They sell everything directly to the buyers. Because with most other automakers, they sell their cars through dealers. This basically makes it easier to track sales and inventory because of the nature of how the logistics work in that kind of a system. When you take out the dealership and other middlemen, that takes away a lot of the avenues to track sales numbers. So I don't know how much of this is intentional from Tesla versus it just being part of how they operate. But nonetheless, this article talks about the sales number and it states, the estimates look quite high. The best way to figure out Tesla's deliveries in the US is to take deliveries based on registration data in all other markets where Tesla sells vehicles in the world, which are quite accurate, and subtract that number from Tesla's reported global deliveries. This would mean Tesla delivered about 124,657 vehicles in the United States and Canada in the first quarter of 2025. That's already about 3,500 fewer than Cox estimate. But it also includes Canadian deliveries, which are also hard to estimate in the first quarter. It's safe to assume that they're about 5,000 units. So that would mean that the sales are down by 15% rather than the 8% that Cox Automotive was reporting. And in all honesty, that makes more sense than the 8% number. Now, I think that number will be much worse in the second quarter. I think that Tesla is due for a massive down year because of the bad PR Musk has been generating. Now, I know Musk hasn't been in the headlines recently, so that certainly helps, and it's been mitigating a lot of the problems and the bleeding that Tesla has been going through recently. But I think all that is doing is just buying some time. The Cybertruck sales are plummeting, people are trading in their Teslas at record numbers for other cars, and there's a massive depreciation factor in the used sector for Tesla. So I think it's only going to be a matter of time before these numbers start impacting the sales numbers by more than just that 15%. Now, the article's top comment stated, I'd like to see what the revenue numbers are for the first quarter. Without European carbon credits and Bitcoin Cash and the 15% drop in sales in the United States and 40% less average in the EU, China has very little profits already. Now, assuming what this user is saying is true, I'm also curious to see what the revenue will look like for Tesla. Because here's the thing, Tesla still holds 44% of the EV market share in North America and about 10% in China. Those are big numbers, which means Tesla has a long way to go down if it is going down. So if Tesla is going to crash, it'll have a lot of time to turn course. I think a lot of people underestimate how big Tesla is. Even with the sales flop of the Cybertruck, Tesla still holds a lot of brand power in the EV sector, and it's not going to lose it easily to competitors. So as bad as the situation is, Tesla has a lot of leeway to correct course. Anyways, the article starts talking about how they believe that the deliveries will be up from the first quarter, but they'll be down compared to the second quarter of 2024. And it's more likely that Tesla deliveries will be down for the full year of 2025, despite most analysts still believing Tesla will grow this year. I agree with the full year part, but I don't know about it being up in Q2. I wouldn't be all that optimistic. Quite frankly, I don't really understand why the analysts are still predicting growth for Tesla this year. I think Tesla will be lucky to not have a massive decline, let alone growth. I do not think that the deliveries will be up. I mean, there are already reports that there's delays in the Model Y, which was supposed to be the big launch this year. That, along with all the other problems, makes me think Tesla's numbers are going to get much worse as the year goes along. But with that being said, I don't think it'll reach catastrophic numbers. But it will have a major down year, but nothing too massive. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Article links are in the description. And as always, if you enjoyed this, make sure to click like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.